And hello and welcome. We've got our fans. I've just noticed we've gone for
Oh,
the
you got
fans.
what you said. I had a minute, and I went. I need a fan.
I saw you go for the fan. I thought I'm going to get mine out too. Welcome.
Oh, I love your fan better, but this is all right. It'll work.
Wonderful. It's a kind of evening, perhaps. It's a warm one in the UK,
Is it?
and it's a warm one where what's it? Is it 2 p.m. over where you are?
Yeah, and it's actually cooler today. It's 79. But gosh, the couple days before we were like in the mid to high 90s.
Ouch. Yeah, we hit that a couple of days. Yeah. Not fun to work in, particularly when you don't have it.
No. Richie, I have to ask you. So you mentioned, we had a minute, go make a casserole or something.
Yeah.
So as I said before, I lived in Scotland when I was a wee lass. And so we got a recipe that I've actually made as an adult. My mother called it Scottish dumpling, but I don't know if that's the true name. But it was made with lard, with white raisins, and you boil it in cheesecloth before you bake it. And it was so good. And it's some sort of a dumpling, but yet.
Was it a pudding or like a sweet or a savory?
It's sweet, and it slices like bread, but you make it into a ball. It's almost like a fruit cake that's made with lard. Maybe back then lard was more available than butter. I'm not sure, but I just remember white raisins in it, and I can't remember what else, to be honest. But I remember my mom making it into a ball, wrapping it in cheesecloth, and then boiling it for 3 hours. And then baking it afterwards.
Baking it.
Yeah.
That's the bit that because I would have suggested it's the pudding that is affectionately known as spotted dick over here.
Yes.
But I think you just boil that one. You don't bake. What we need Chris here from Elemental Cartomancy.
There we go. He may know.
So he knows everything to do that. If he happens to be here, I'll ask him later. So hang on to it. I'm sorry I can't help you anymore. But
she just called it Scottish dumpling. So I don't know if that was the proper name, but Richie, we have people in the chat.
I know. Hello, everyone. Let's say hello to a few people. Welcome, Ginger. Everyone knows Ginger. Thank you for coming on today, Ginger. Lovely to be back. It was only a month ago, wasn't it, that we were doing it?
Yeah.
And we said how much fun we had and that we were going to do it again. So here we are. So hello to Flowing.
Hello, darling. She's lunch lurking.
A lunch lurker.
Love it.
And Angie's here as well. Hello, my lovely. It's so good to see you here.
Oh,
and our lovely Deanne. Hello, my lovely. It's good to see you here.
Lovely. Hope all is well with the wee ones.
Yeah, I hope the family's all good.
Yeah, I haven't been on Facebook in a while, so I haven't checked in on her.
Hello to you, my lovely. Good to see you here. Thank you for joining us. And Lynn is also here. I can also see we have other people watching and not commenting, and that's absolutely fine. Hello to everybody who is doing that, and of course anyone who is watching back at another time. Welcome. So, for people who don't know you, Ginger Fae, talk about yourself for 1 minute.
I can't talk about myself. Well, I just had a birthday, so now I'm old. We had a birthday celebration. Nancy from A Crone's Intuition only lives less than 2 hours from me up in North Carolina.
Oh, right.
So I went and spent a few days with her, and we had a jammy party, and things got, very, very silly, very fast. And I haven't watched it back, but I need to, because I got to see what a fool I made of myself.
Adorably, I'm sure adorably.
Yeah, so
isn't that nice when you meet up with people though from YouTube? It's really nice.
Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. So much fun. So I'm here in the US. the southern U.S., originally from the West Coast. So this was a big change for me. But I absolutely love it here. Feel at home. And
Oh,
yeah, and then I found my spiritual journey here. So you can't complain about that.
and we met, and that is lovely. And it's so nice to spend time with you.
Met
And
through
if,
Simon's channel. And mostly through the corn streaming that he was doing. So that
Mhm,
was a blessing that he did
yeah,
that, because so many of us,
yeah,
that's where we met and that's where we became friends. And
absolutely. That
yeah,
seems like such a long time ago, doesn't it? But
what was,
it
I
was a
don't
really
know.
important
I'm at
part
four
of our
years
life.
ago now. Oh my gosh.
I know, I
And then
know.
I did a reading, I did a tarot spread on Lavender Moon's channel, connecting with loved ones. And you were there reading right along, and then we met after to
Yeah,
go through your cards. Because,
that's right.
and this is an important thing, I think, just thinking about it, you thought you chose the wrong deck.
Yes,
But if you remember, as we read through it and then pulled cards from a different deck, it was very much the right deck too.
it-
Now I'm getting goosebumps all of a sudden. So
but
that was
that is
lovely.
important to remember, that synchronicity that goes on. It's those things. It's that intuition that we often talk about listening
Mhm.
to, and how often, if you listen to it, it's correct and it's right. It's so nice when something like that eventually makes sense, and as you
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
absolutely right.
And then you're like, oh, I was right after all. I love
Say
those
hello
moments.
to people. Hi, Kathy. Good to see you
Hello.
here, and anyone
Happy
else that's
Friday.
watching. Good to see you here.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I suppose you better explain the rules really of this, because we're going to do some lovely readings. Um, we had such a great time last time, didn't we? And our readings, I have to say, really seemed to fit together quite nicely. So
Yes, they did.
here
Hey,
comes the
Carol.
first bit that I have to do. For entertainment purposes only, we'll be not reading for health, financial, or legal matters. Seek for, professional advice on those things. If you would like a reading, please put me in capitals and only once. If there's a particular question you would like us to look at, please put that in capitals as well. And I'm going to give you some people some help on that bit in a moment if you hang on. Please remember to like and subscribe to both our channels. It makes us very happy. And we do ask that people do stay in chat during the reading, because it helps there to be live during the broadcast. So I did something a few minutes before we went on, which was to pull a card. I always like to pull a card just before a live, just to see what the theme is.
Mm-hmm.
I pulled the Eight of Swords, and I was like, "That, oh great, all right." So here's a suggestion: if you don't know what you'd like to ask about for a reading, but would still like a reading for both of us, with the Eight of Swords in mind, perhaps you might like to think about what you may have restricting you, what perhaps you need to let go of, or perhaps how can you free yourself from a situation or a feeling that you might have. So there's a suggestion if you are looking for something to read on. So I'll leave that one up there. Let's just go a few. Oh, here's Gerald.
Yes,
Hello.
it is.
Hi to you, my friend. I hope you are really well. It's lovely to see you. And he says hello to everyone in chat. Carl is also here.
See?
Hello, Carl. Just a reminder, only one card. I don't know if you know, I get a telling off from Gerald when we do our long stash Sabbath readings, because we're only going to pull one card, and then as the evening goes on, I've got 5 or 6 in my hand because they're all important and all needed to come
But
up.
you're pulling them one at a time. So the key word
Oh
is
no,
one.
so I'm just
Keywords,
catching
keywords.
people, and Gerald, I have you. You'd like an Eight of Swords reading? Absolutely,
But
do that for you, my friend.
I love
Becky,
that idea, Richie. You pulling a card and then basing readings on that. I love that. I love that
well,
idea.
sometimes you
Yeah.
just need a bit of a where am I right now, and what's the situation, or what's the universe coming up with. So
Yeah.
need to listen to that one there. So, but if somebody would like a reading based on anything else, we're happy to read on it. Hello to everybody.
Happy.
It's lovely to see you here. Okay, just let us know in capitals so I don't miss you, and of course, please stay in chat. Right. So, what decks are you using right now, my lovely?
Well, I always try to keep a minimum, and then I end up reaching for another and another. But as I said backstage, it's been a long time since I've used Robert Place Alchemical Renewed. So I don't know. It feels a little summery to me. And then I don't. So with these questions, and then I'll pull an oracle card, and this enchanted forest seems. It just said pick me. So I'm going to try to stick to just the two tarot, one oracle. Well, I have other decks on here.
I take this idea, and stop me, Gerald, if this is the wrong one. Pick as many cards as you like from as many decks as you like, because
it's true.
We bought them, we own them. Let's use them.
Yeah, and my all-time favorite. I keep switching that. My current all-time favorite is this muted palette of Ciro Marchetti's. I've never gotten so deep of messages before I used this deck, other than the Hush Tarot. But then this came along after that, and I can't put it. It stays on my table. I just get incredible readings from that. So I may tip into that one, but I'm trying to do the oldies and goodies.
Were you not tempted by the full color version of that deck?
Well, how I first saw them was Lisa Papez was doing her, upcoming decks thing. And I've always wanted a Ciro Marchetti deck, but I could never make my mind which one. And then she found that one. I'm like, that's it. That's the deck. Mm-hmm. And then she kept scrolling and saw the Sepia version. I'm like, that's my deck, because I love earth tones. The color is absolutely beautiful. I would have gotten that had they not also did the sepia tone. So
I can't decide. I mean, I've said this many times. I'm dreadful at making decisions, particularly when things like restaurants have lots of things on their menu. And so the problem is, when I saw that deck, I was like, I don't know which one to get. I was only going to buy one. I haven't bought any of them yet.
Right.
But I'm interested. But can't decide.
Well, now you can go through somebody's flip through that has the two, and they do side by side.
Yeah. You see, I'm always gone for color decks, really.
Yeah.
And I know I've got that sepia muted, and I haven't used them.
It's just very earth toned. But if you like the color, I would get the color one. But
well, I'll have to have a word with my bank manager about that one first. But,
well, you can either go mass market. So I was visiting Nancy, and she got the extra. It's called the muted palette. It used to be called Sepia, but they released it as muted palette. And she got it mass market. I got mine strict, from Ciro Marchetti. Mine signed, so it's worth the money I paid. But I did notice a difference in the quality of the picture. It was more like this was more pasted on the. Sorry, Nancy, if you watched this back. I did notice there is a quality difference, but yet the mass market is beautiful, and if I didn't have this, I would not know the difference. But the mass market color comes with a book. The muted doesn't. And then when I bought this, I had to buy the book separate, and the book is in color. So I got to see all the jewel tones as well. So, but if you're a man of color, stick with color.
That's what you want. Whilst we're talking about Mr. Marchetti, of course, do remember, as Gerald has reminded everyone, if you're not wearing leggings, then you're not really doing tarot readings. Because he does like his leotards, doesn't he? And his
Normally I'm
and I
in jammy bottoms, but I happen to be wearing a dress today.
we have Lou Crescentman DM to thank for that live so many years ago. Beth says, I
Oh,
love the music version, but alas, too large of cards for me. And I still find Giro's art a bit overwhelming. Be home
okay.
to my channel. I love
Oh. I
interest.
do. I'll admit, when I shuffle, I do break it up into 4 and shuffle half at a time because yet they're very pliable. It's just for
That
a thicker
big.
deck, it's very pliable. But my small hands I have to break it up.
Thank you.
Oh,
Um, just a piece of advice from Gerald here as well. I think the next long stash readings, which will be the Lammas ones, the readers pick as many cards as they want. Harvest readings. I love it.
oh,
Oh, and of course, Gerald's been very kind in putting links to all our channels in here.
thank you very
Remember,
much.
like and subscribe. It's fun and free. Right. I'm just going to go through who I have starred ready to do some readings. But
Okay.
Gerald was first, so he will be. We'll be kicking off with Gerald in a moment. Kathy, I have you starred. Beth, I have you. Flowing, I have you. Ange, ENC, and Carl, we have you starred. I hope I haven't missed anyone out. So if I have, just please pop it back in again in capitals, and I won't miss you this time. Right then, I am using a new deck.
I can't wait.
I am using the Bee Tarot,
Love my honeybees.
which is beautiful. But I haven't read with it before. However, it's got a bit of a. It's already starting to show its colours because the full card keeps appearing in the deck right at the bottom of it every time. I always read what's on the bottom of a deck, and
Uh-huh.
the full is always there. So that's going to have to.
Interesting.
I know, and it often falls out or it does something like that. So let's see what happens. Right, Gerald would like an Eight of Swords reading, so let's just pop that one up so we can
All
go,
right.
so we can just have a think about what is restricting our Gerald at the moment. And if they're Meggins, you can just take them off in private. That's fine if you're finding them restrictive. No, what is restricting it? What do you need to let go of, or how can you free yourself? So
What
this
is
is a reading.
restricting might be those tight meggings.
Exactly. Strip them off. Just not in public.
Okay. Cute.
We're going to pull quite a few cards.
Ooh.
You can feel that.
You're pulling more than one for each?
I'm not. I'm just pulling general cards and I'm pulling it all together, really.
Okay.
If you're ready, do feel free to go for it.
I mean, I got positive cards. I'm trying to figure out how to. Okay. I'll let you go first on this one.
Okay.
I need to
Well, I've
marinate.
pulled for you the Eight of Pentacles from the Bee Tarot. Let's get it up there, one there. And this shows a lovely outdoor scene of somebody just quietly filling up their jars of honey. And I don't know if you can see, we've got people inside the house having a conversation. They're taking time out. They're taking time out from things that are distracting them to get on with their actual real purpose. I've also pulled an Avalon card for you, and I think this makes a lot of sense with this card I've just pulled for you there. It says, live your own authentic life with courage to be your true self. Renew your focus. And it's a card a little bit like the Six of Swords on that one there. Gerald, it feels like to me that it's perhaps time, as the card suggests, to renew your focus. Perhaps you're so readily focused on what's going on and on all the wonderful things that you do. Sometimes that focus can just draw you down that pathway, and you sometimes miss opportunities that's going on because the focus is so sharp, because there's so much going on, because you're so aware of what's at the end of the journey. That famous saying about, enjoy the journey, not necessarily getting to the destination, rings true here. I've also pulled a card for you that's talking about patience as well. Again, it's about just not rushing into things, and perhaps not necessarily slowing down, but taking time just to check what's going on. I'm getting a sense of the periphery vision coming in here, a sense that you're so driven, you're so focused on the actual wonderful things you do, that you sometimes don't see what's on the periphery there. So perhaps that is what is restricting you at the moment. And I finish in there. So if you want to go there.
Oh, okay. So I pulled one card for each question there.
I'll go for it.
Okay, what is restricting? Okay, so here's why I had a little bit of I needed to marinate it with, because this is such a positive card. You think, what is restricting? So when I look at this card, I feel like I hear the words healing space. So if I put it into what's restricting you, have you revamped your healing space recently? Have you renewed it, giving it like recharging it? So, and then if I turn it into coins, is there anything that's restricting you that you don't have enough money for, or something like that? But I'm not sure if I believe in that one. You got this hair here, so which was representing, good fortune and moving quickly. So I think I want to go the healing space route, where it might be time to recharge your healing space, recharge crystals, maybe even revamping it and trying something new in new directions, as this is, giving me that kind of like a compass thing. Take your healing space into a new direction. Maybe things have gotten the energy's a little stagnant for you there. So I'm not sure if I'm right, but let's go with that. And then need to let go of. Okay. So, again, what a positive card. It's the wish come true card. So, you have had a lot of success the last few years on I even, it was a couple months ago, was scrolling through and I found the Hermit Mage. I'm like, Gerald, you've come a long way from Hermit Mage. So, I don't know as far as letting go, but it's like stand on that top of that mountain and like reflect and think about all these accomplishments. Have you taken the time to enjoy these accomplishments and enjoy your milestones? Because here you are up top of that mountain, wonderful, beautiful perspective on things that you do for others. Have you in turn done this for you, shown yourself the appreciation, the love, the accomplishments? Are you proud of yourself? Because you should be, because he's standing up here just tall and proud, just as you should be. So, and then how can you free yourself? I pulled out of the Enchanted Forest. I think this is my first AI deck. It's creepy but cool at the same time. It says, without agenda, pure love and everything you've dreamed of will happen when you're ready to give love without expecting anything in return, which I know that's not Gerald anyway, but true givers receive. But what I think this might be talking about is that giving love to yourself and filling your own cup. And this is like creepy and cool at the same time. Can't get over it. So yeah, so pure love, and just wait. This wish come true. Add a little pure love into it, and many, many Fae blessings. What you got there?
Lovely. Thank you so much, Gerald. Gerald's putting lots of lovely comments there.
Yes.
There's definitely something about porches and being outside, I think, because that one's coming through on that one, as you suggested there. Yeah, he said, good point on having my back fence and deck replaced, so that will change the energy of the space. Stop resting on previous successes and make effort for new and exciting successes.
Loving it.
Lovely. Thank you for allowing us
Yeah.
to read for you, my good friend. And welcome to anyone else. I can see Ren has arrived as well. And anyone else who is watching, I'm sorry if I didn't say hello to you earlier on. Right. Let's take a sip. Let's just replace our fluids. Okay. That's an interesting deck, that last one you pulled.
The Enchanted Forest. I keep trying to call it Forest of Enchantment. Very different. Very different. But
I'm just going to answer Beth's question about the card stock on this. It's good. It's the usual Llewellyn. It is Llewellyn, isn't it? It's linen. It's, do you know what? They're a joy. If you're a riffle shuffler, they're an absolute joy to riffle shuffle. It's the basic Llewellyn cardstock, but I quite like that. It's good. You can hold it. It's not too slippery. I recommend. Remember, purchase responsibly. Right.
I have not bought a tarot deck since March, so I was proud of myself.
Well done, you.
I got a couple of oracles.
I really wish I could say the same, but let's not go there. I should basically delete Kickstarter app from my phone. That's what I really need to do. But until all the decks have come in,
yeah,
I can't do that just in case something goes missing.
And Etsy, I don't know if Etsy's my thorn right now.
I try to stay away from.
That's funny. I said Thorn because Hattie Thorn is who I'm loving her decks, and she came out with some shadowy and Halloweenish decks, and she's got a bundle on the tarot and oracle, but it will come with a pretty penny, and I'm like, do I indulge or don't I? So I'm trying to behave.
Only you can answer that one, my dear.
I'm looking for unique, and she has unique.
Right, let's do Kitty next. She would also like an 8 of Swords reading, so we're tackling this as freestyling as we go. Let's pull another card from the B Tarot. What is restricting Kathy, perhaps? Or what does she need to let go of? How perhaps can she free us? I'll pull some more cards then, if that's the way we're going to go. You set the tone, Ginger, on this one.
You set the tone. I was just following.
You can freestyle whatever you want.
All right, Kathy.
Okay, I'm going to go for it, if that's okay with you. I've pulled two really interesting cards, Kathy, which I've got the 5 of Swords and the 9 of Wands. Now, normally, traditionally, you wouldn't think they're particularly positive cards necessarily, but I'm just getting a message coming through from these ones that someone just isn't playing fair, and that something or a situation that's surrounding you is having more of an effect on you than what it should normally be. And there's just a sense that, as I say, people aren't playing fair, or you've seen a situation, you go, that's not right. And you're reacting to it in a way that is perhaps you're surprising yourself by how you're reacting to it there. It's a kind of leveling up process, because how you can free yourself, you have the world. And this is a leveling up. This is you have to get this solved. You have to get this discussed. You have to get it put to bed, literally, for you to be able to move on. So perhaps it's time to think about what it is that's niggling away there, what it is that's causing issues, what's just not sitting right with you. Have it out. Have that conversation. It can be difficult, or just let it go. If either which way goes there. I've got two cards though, which are about being outside in nature as a kind of panacea or tonic. You have here. You have a beautiful unicorn card from the Avalon Magic card here, and it says, "Make peace with the wildness within you and all Mother Earth's creations." And I've also got a card here, which is a little bit like the Empress card. It's about abundance there. And it's a card for the summer. It's poppies. I don't know whether you have poppies around you at this time, but they're certainly prevalent in the summer sun here. So to get that healing process, to get that solution that you need to do to get to this point, spend some time out in the sunshine, perhaps cornfields, poppies, natural flowers, and perhaps you'll find the answer there.
And or watch The Wizard of Oz. That's a nice summer movie, right?
It is any time of the year.
All right. So, Kathy, okay, so look at this beautiful dragon. Oh my gosh. And you have another dragon. So, you got some dragon energy with you. So, if I look at this as what is restricting you, it seems like maybe you have someone, let's say, of authority or thinks they have authority over you, restricting your inspirations and your passions. And perhaps it's time to just step back from his energy, his or her energy, because they seem to, I'm going to put this. Some people we feel obligated to look up to and listen to them and abide by their rules. But sometimes there's ways of creatively dancing around that and being able to express yourself and who you are and your creativity, even if you have to sneak away. Let's say this is at work. Even if you have to slip away on your lunch break, do a little meditation, breathing exercises, something to get that person away. You could also remember the affirmations of your energy is your energy. My energy is my energy. Try to keep that energy separated, where you have to do the obligatory things with respect, but not letting it suppress who you are and your voice. So that's what I got out of that one. What you need to let go of maybe is that fear of the unknown, fear of speaking up and speaking your truth. I can only say in the past, when I was afraid to speak out, they keep treating you as the lesser. And when I started speaking out, I started gaining a little more respect. And it wasn't speaking out disrespectfully. It was about showing who I was, speaking out of you may not have that confidence in me because you don't know me, but here's what I do. And you have to show by example. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, she does know what she's doing or talking about and stuff like that. So maybe what you need to let go of is that fear of the unknown of what if. I love that card. And so how can I free myself? It says, whatever you wish. When you lessen the importance of problems and suffering, life will swing back into balance. Stop the struggle and feel peace. The world responds to you. Look at that beautiful dragon. So you've got dragon energy. This is saying that you are a magical being. You have the right to be magical, and it's time for you to express this magic within you and not to let people suppress that. And so I didn't read this card before I read the others, and it just makes sense. It just fell in line. So I hope these messages spoke to you, Kathy, in some way.
Thank you very much, Kathy, for allowing us to read for you. I'm always very appreciative of it.
Love the dragon energy.
There's a lot of dragon energy, a lot of heat there. Wonderful. Hello to people joining us. Plucky's here. Apologise for being late. You don't have to apologise. It's lovely to have you here. And Barbara Ruth is also here. Again, apologising to be late. It's lovely to have you here. Please don't apologise.
Yeah.
Hala is also here. Future long barbecuers we got going on here there. So I hope you're having a wonderful time there. Planned. That's a nice dragon, says Hala. There we go. And Kathy says she does know what that's referring to, and being out in nature does sound good. And she also follows it up by saying, I feel bound by the bureaucracy at work. I've had to be creative to be an individual. Many thanks.
Wonderful.
Lots of
Thank you for that feedback.
I love a bit of feedback. It's always nice to know, if it makes sense or whether it doesn't make sense, or
Yeah. It might not make sense to us as we're reading, and then kind of the questions like, oh, was that right?
Have you ever had situations where you've pulled a card and you've gone, I know what the meaning to that card is, but I'm going completely off on a different direction, and it always
often
works.
Do.
Thank you very much. Hello to anyone that's joining us tonight.
I do, Richie, have an example, if I may. When I was first reading tarot, and I was in this group, and our last class, the teacher was supposed to teach the class, finish our last class, give us all mini readings, and then she was going to go off into another room to do private readings. And she went backwards. She disappeared on us. And my friend kept saying, Ginger, you can do it. You do it. I'm like, I'm not going to do this. So as people started leaving, there's about 10 people left. And I'm like, okay, well, I have a phone, app on my phone. If you want to experiment, let's experiment. But in this image it was the King of Wands, and it had a lion and a lioness at his feet. And trying to figure out what it meant. And I kept like running my thumbs along the lions. And all of a sudden I said, are you planning on going on a trip? And she says, tomorrow. I'm leaving tomorrow. So I then asked my teacher, I said, how did I get her going on a trip off of lions? And she goes, you know what you were doing? You were meditating, you were channeling when you started doing that. And so it freed up the energy that you received. Yeah. So that's going way off of what that card meant. So I just want to share that real quick.
I'd just like to explain this white light on the side of my face is a thing called sunlight. It doesn't happen that often. So the camera there is kind of, just going, what's that? So I do apologise if I look a little bit odd, but Beth says feedback is so important. I really just like giving people just sit there stoically and stare at me. That, I'm going to test you look.
Right.
Sometimes it's not as bad as my Eight of Swords mind. You have the same kind of mind as I do, Beth. That's where I go, the Eight of Swords with that one. And Beth says, both babies, the Taurus and the Cancer, are doing both well. That's
Aw.
Alice says, well, the sooner they get jobs, the better. Tough love, those feelings. Oh, hello to anyone again who has joined us. Beth is up next with a me.
Me. All about me.
If it's a general reading, that's absolutely fine. Beth, if there's anything you would like us to particularly look at, or if you did want an Eight of Swords kind of reading, do let us know in chat. Whilst we're just shuffling them. But we'll have Beth in a moment. Have a little sip of a drink.
She says, Eight of Swords, please.
Oh, okay. Eight of Swords. I'm loving the Eight of Swords readings.
I am.
We'll have to do this more. Absolutely. Okay, for Beth, what is the Eight of Swords restrictions about?
It's a fun deck. I think I'm ready.
Go for it.
I'm thinking. Okay. Interesting. Robert placed in his image. So here's the Justice card. Look away if you don't like nudity. We have a half a nudity here. So interesting. So what is restricting you? So I took focus to the flames on her crown. Speaking of focus, focus. Maybe it doesn't, my camera shy. Anyways, I took notice to the flame coming from her crown and the eye. So I just tend to wonder if it's your crown chakra being restricted right now. That's what called to me in this card. So Justice, so balance, is balance restricting you? Are you having a hard time? Is time restricting you of keeping things in balance? But also on the spiritual note is, have you cleansed your crown chakra lately? It needs to be cleansed, purified by fire. Don't set your hair on fire. So I wonder, just let me know your thoughts on that. So something to do with your crown chakra. And then the what you need to let go of. Look at this interesting Fool card. Let go of. So this is the first Fool card that has that I've seen that has a blindfold on. So let go of that blindfold. It's like, are you afraid of taking a certain risk on something or situation that has come before you recently? And I love the hair down here instead of the little dog. So that hair, representing moving forward, good fortune, abundance. So take off that blindfold and go ahead and move forward with something that you've been thinking about. And if you clear your crown chakra, you would get better help from your guides in helping you navigate through whatever's the situation has come up. And then how can I free myself? It says, behold beauty. When you insist that the world is hostile and others are your enemies, don't be surprised if that is so. Self fulfilling prophecies, fortunately, work both ways. So look at that. You just
Let me try that.
Oh, so when you kiss that frog and he turns into a prince, we didn't judge that frog by his looks. So I'm just gonna, yeah. So I don't know if most of us, most of the time, do have this positive mindset, but every once in a while we have these energy shifts that I actually, come to think of it, seem to be going through one. All of a sudden, it was like, and I think I know who it is shifting the energy, but but the energy is shifting because even my son, who has autism, his very positive demeanor has shifted lately. So I don't know if there's something cosmically going on right now, but try
Mm.
to just bypass that by keeping your thoughts and your actions positive, and but especially about yourself, because I feel like this is about the self and not others in this situation. So I hope there's something within that message that speaks to you, Beth. And yeah, let me know.
Well, that's interesting because I have a similar vibe going on with my cards here. I have so what's restricting there? I have the Six of Pentacles, which you'd often think, well, that's a strange card to kind of talk about restriction here, because this Six of Pentacles, if I can get it lining up there, it's very much about showing off what you've got. There's all the jars of honey have been made, that there's lovely pictures, the teapots have all been organized on the family dresser. It feels like everything has got a place, and that the family group and everything is kind of fitting into place. So that's actually quite a nice thought to be having. So how is that possibly restricting? And it's very interesting because I also pulled the Fool card as well. This one has got sensible pants on because it's a beekeeper's outfit, and we don't want to be stung when we're on our journey there. Again, it's a sense of perhaps not necessarily breaking away from the mundaneness or perhaps what's been a, but there is a sense of just having some time for yourself. Because I've also pulled the Hanged Person, I think it's called, or the Hanged One in here. It's a bit like you want to have some space just for yourself, just to cleanse. And what you're talking about, your crown chakra, was quite interesting because at the same time I pulled this card, which is a Guinevere with a crown on there as well. So there's real synchronicity going on between these two readings, and it's a sense that you need to just take that time, not necessarily to go on a massive long holiday or a big break from someone, but just to reestablish your own position, and what you need to do in your own life to make you happy, to keep everyone else happy as well. I've pulled a wonderful card from the Wendy Andrews deck as well, which is emotional release, letting go. And again, you talked about cleansing, and this card is all about water and just that physical cleansing. And it can be done as a meditation. It can be done as actually going into having a bath or perhaps standing under the shower. But that's what this is talking about. It's about finding that time to actually do it, and do it purposely, and not feel like you're being rushed into it, or thinking of all the hundreds of 101 things you have to do while you're meditating. It's your time. Make it your time, and it can be as long as you need to. So do take that time, because it's precious time, and you deserve it as well. I hope that's helpful. Thank you for
And I
allowing us.
just had a thought too about that flaming crown. I got the image of the phoenix rising too. So maybe you're gonna have a new form of awakening or ascension
Yes.
soon as well. So
Yeah.
um,
Both have got kind of
that's a
flaming hair.
beautiful card. I love that deck.
Yeah. Beth says, Ginger, I had a routine procedure yesterday. Oh, I hope you're okay. And was under
Mm.
anesthesia, which I think messes with my energy. A good cleanse is in order. Absolutely. And Beth then says, perfect. I'm going to a family reunion tomorrow, and those relatives that I don't know or remember are very conservative. You do need to bypass the toxic. Absolutely.
Surround yourself with that semi-impermeable bubble.
There we go. The Six of Pentacles, my karma card.
Yes,
Focus.
yes.
And if you need, just take yourself off and just rearrange the objects and the ornaments in the kitchen if you need to. That's what you need to do. Go and do it. You're very, very welcome, Beth. Thank you for allowing us to read. Anne is here. Hello, Anne. I hope you're very well. Good to see you here. Let's try and do that. We always say that one, but that would be absolutely lovely. Anne just lives just down the road from me, and we've never met up. So that would be super. So, well, message me with some times you're free, and perhaps we can have a catch up very, very soon. That'd be lovely.
Yeah.
Right.
Hallelujah. That was on my mind when I said that. Just he was making fun of the fool's silly pants, and I said he's part of this ministry of silly pants. I'm like, no, that was silly walks. I'm gonna write it anyway.
There, Calla says, "Yikes, Beth! I've called a moratorium until 2025 on distressing relations. Yeah, brief, cheery phone calls, and I'm off. I love it." Hello, Naomi. Good to see you here. I hope you're well.
How are you?
Hello, everyone else that's joined and watching on this rather lovely live. Right.
One of my most fondest memories of Scotland was Monty Python and Benny Hill.
Benny Hill.
Good old Benny. Hey, Flowing.
So, hi, Flowing. Flowing would like an Eight of Swords reading as well. For those of you that just joined us and thinking, being a little bit miserable talking about Eight of Swords, I pulled a card just before we came on live, and it was the Eight of Swords. And so for some people who may not want a specific reading, we're doing a reading based around that, which is on the Eight of Swords, looking at restriction, perhaps what you need to let go of, or how can you free yourself when we think about the Eight of Swords.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Richie, do you have this deck, the Alchemical Renewed?
Get the box there, because I've got one of his and I can't remember which one it is.
This is
no, I don't have that one. I've got
obviously there was Flipbox deck rage in this because it tore. The first time I opened it, tore. I'm like, no.
I might have it. I can't think of. I'd have to look, but it would be in this one of these 4 huge boxes that are like a sort of void when you go into. It's like the worst game of tarot Jenga trying to.
Right.
Yeah. So I won't go looking now because I'll be for the next. But I do have one.
Yeah. Well, anyway, the reason why I ask in a second.
I'm going to make a start here. Okay, if that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Avalon Magic card that I pulled first, which is this. Doesn't really help, but it does say, cut away dense energy that holds you back from your goals. Trust in the process of divine timing. And the reason I've gone for that one is there's a sense of storing up things. Now, this is the bee tarot, so a lot of it, the imagery is about sort of collecting pollen and, turning it into honey and storing it in a hive. So I get that, but I have the King of Pentacles, which is the I think it's the drone in here, or one of the big worker bees here. I've also got the Four of Pentacles, and there's a real sense here that perhaps being in control of finances, or perhaps conversations around finances or worth, is what is happening at the moment. And talking about, I hate talking about finances and getting finances sorted. It bores me and I don't find it interesting, but I do know that you have to do it occasionally. And I don't like those conversations, and I don't like the times that we spend on it. But sometimes we do have to do that. And I'm just wondering if that storage, or that resources, or perhaps those finance and the money side of it all, is something that is happening at the moment and may just not be sitting comfortably with people in that direct circle, whether that's yourself or family members or whatever. The reason I say that is I've also got the Two of Wands for you here. And there's a big sense that you almost want to just break free of it and start making plans on perhaps either spending money or what you can do with it, or perhaps new ideas, or perhaps even moving, or perhaps doing renovations. But it just seems that this conversation, or this sense of having to store or squirrel away finances and resources, just isn't sitting very happily with you at the moment. Also, I love the film Death Becomes Her. And what's the one line? The sordid topic of coin, I think, is when she's about to pay for it all. And a lot of people do find that, talking about money can be distasteful and just ungrounds people and makes people feel just not themselves. And there's a real sense, again, that you need to perhaps find your natural rhythm, and that natural rhythm may be finding your own worth in other things and not necessarily banking on financial or rewards to do that. You have your own sense of what your goals are, and that doesn't necessarily have to be in lots of bucks and pounds and pence.
I think that deck is working very well for you today, Richie.
Thank you.
So there was a moment I was blessing you, Richie. No,
I like that.
No, my camera all of a sudden made me all blurry, so I had to try to figure that out. Okay. So I'm laughing at this card. Let me tell you the story first. So I got this deck and I decided to do a reading for my son, who at the time was going into high school, and I pulled the Lover's card for him. But in this particular deck, this is why I was asking if you had one. In this particular deck, there's two Lover's cards. The other Lover's card is the couple engaging, let's say. And for me, I pulled out that card for my son for a reading. Forgot about that card even being in the deck. I'm like, wow, looks like you're going to have a spicy year here. Oh my gosh. So yeah, so that's why I was asking if you had and if it was in any of the other editions. But okay, so what is restricting? Maybe I was going to go on a different thing, but maybe it's the inhibitions restricting you rather than choice or a partnership. Maybe it's your inhibitions that are restricting you right now. So I don't know if that makes sense to you, but that's the message I'm getting here. And it's like, go ahead and I was going to say reveal the true self, reveal your true nature. Don't have the fear of being judged when you reveal your true nature. So that's what I'm getting on card. What do you need to let go of? The green lion. I wonder what he was thinking when he made the lion green. anyways, this is strength card. So maybe what you need to let go of is the fact that you know you're that strong person, and you know that if you're not the one in control, everything goes out of control. Well, guess what? If you try to loosen up those reins a little bit, you'll find that you allow yourself a little bit of emotional and energetic freedom when you let people make their own mistakes, we'll say. So maybe that's the green lion. When people are new, they call them green, he's green. So let's just say you have a young man cub getting ready to go out in the world. He's green, he's new, and you want to protect him. But you got to let him make his own mistakes and decisions, and you be the supportive one. But he will. So I don't know why I went on that one, but you are such a strong person. But it's time for let other people take care of you as well and do for you, and it's not a weakness when you do that. So how can I free myself? Funny enough, I pull an inner strength card. Don't lose yourself in the things you can't change. Focus on the things you can change. Attitude, mindset, energy. You got everything you need. And it's this beautiful little fairy. So believe in yourself. You are so strong, and you have that inner strength that takes you beyond what you ever thought you can do. And people look up to you, and they recognize that in you. And when you're feeling a little less than, let them help build you up by, listening to their compliments and just look back on all your accomplishments and who you are, and know that you are a divine and magical Fae being. So
lovely, thank you.
I hope that made sense.
I hope that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
There's lots of lovely comments, and Flo says, I'm an 8 life path. Very true. Being naked in the woods, something done in my youth.
Love it. Love
yes,
it.
Thank you. That's I do. I love in the comments about Parsley the lion.
Parsley the lion. I'm going to name him Parsley. I love that.
There was a program here called The Herbs, and you have to be a certain age, as I am, to remember the herbs. And they had, I was always frightened of, I think it was Sage the owl that just used to hoot. I remember coming up on that one there. So I'm laughing with the people that can remember that, because I think we're the same age category. Brian says thank you to us both. You're very welcome. I hope that is useful to you. I'm just going to say, I know we've got some people coming in now. Readings are now closed because we've still got a few to get through. And Angie's up next.
Okay.
And would also like an 8 of Swords. We're going to have to do more of these.
That was a lovely idea. Perfect.
Thank you. So,
I've made tarot spreads off of a card, and the Hermit was my favorite one.
I was having a conversation with somebody who was interested in having a reading, but she asked me, well, what does the tarot do? And it was a really hard question, because I'm like, well, I'm not going to predict the next 6 lottery numbers for you.
Yeah.
Predict the future. Well, it was a really long conversation, and it was probably one that, but it was a very interesting one. But one of the things was like, well, it can just shine a light onto parts of your life, and pulling a card for a reading, and as you say, something like that, can just trigger you into doing something that you wouldn't normally do to take care of your comfort zone. But that is actually what you need to do, perhaps.
Inspiration,
go with the cards and to go with what we're talking about. I have to say, I do try and avoid that conversation about tarot for people that Correct.
Well, it goes so deep and
Yeah.
expands, it's hard to put it into a few sentences of what tarot
Yeah.
can do.
I'd rather do the reading and then at the end go, well, what do you think?
Right. Anne says, oh my gosh, she remembers the herbs.
She remembers herbs too. Yeah.
I love it. Oh, love it. Okay, we are reading for, I'm sorry, who are we reading for?
It's for Ange.
Ange. Okay. All right. Ooh.
Tarot reader noises. That's what we
I
like.
know. I think we had that discussion last time.
Okay, I'm going to make a start.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Mm.
And I'm going to say this to you. You know what you're about. You know where you should be. It's now time to make that move and do it, because I have got the Ace of Wands for you here as a restriction. Now, I love this Ace of Wands because it actually does look like a magic wand, not a Harry Potterish magic wand, but it's like, this is the kind of thing I do. I go and find a stick and then turn it into a magic wand. And it's a sense of you're being handed this huge opportunity. And it's almost like, do I take it? Do I take it? Do I take it? There's a lot of pondering going around with it. I've also pulled the King of Pentacles again for you. It's the second time that's come up this evening. And it feels a bit like, if I just ignore the fact it's the King of Pentacles, it's a dirty great bee that seems to be buzzing around. You know, like sometimes you get a bee come into indoors and it's trying to get out the window and it's constantly banging on the glass. It feels like that's what's happening at the moment. And it's trying to carry this huge pentacle, which, to be honest with you, is probably not going to manage a very long journey doing it before it gets dropped. So it feels like there's a lot of fruitless things, or a lot of, as I said, banging your head against that glass, or perhaps even a glass ceiling, if you want to talk about that one there. So it's a time to stop. It's a time to reassess the energy that's going on with it there. Because by stopping, by pausing, you can then attract the energy of the Princess of Wands. So we're back to our wands again. And that comes with a new outlook into ways going forward. Or the Princess, of course, is the page in here. The Page of Wands is a very excitable person with a very youthful outlook, somebody who can get excited by, you know, a cardboard box as much as the contents that's actually contained in it. It's a very resourceful person, and there's this big chance for you if you just actually pause and work out how to get through that window, or how to fly out that window and get out into the countryside and get out into the space. I've also pulled a card that just says love yourself. And I wonder if that's what's that banging up against the glass image that I'm coming up with there, because it's a very strong image that I'm getting there for you. Take that Ace of Wands, find the magic, and never doubt it, because it's very strong in it, and it's something that's very important to you as well. So take that Ace of Wands and hold it tight, my dear.
Chatters are being funny. Beth put, yes, the things you don't want to hear your tarot reader say. Or which card you don't want them to pull. Love it. So spot on. I wanted to mention Miss Barbara here. It says, she says, thank you so much, Ginger and Richie. I relate so much to what you both are saying tonight. And I love that.
Well, thank you. Barbara's such a lovely person.
And I
Yeah.
remember when I first started watching Tarot Tube and they were doing readings for others. And yeah, there's so much that was so relatable to me in my situations that, so thank you for saying that. That was awesome. All right. And I got an interesting image here for the Two of Pentacles. That lion is eating the head of the bird. So I'm going to say something is eating up your resources or eating time. Um, the Two of Pentacles is all about, balancing either work and play or money. Do you save? Do you spend? But it seems like literally something is eating up your resources. So resources, time, energy, could be money, could be health. So what's restricting you right now, yeah, is it, that's funny. Do you know someone who's a Leo? And maybe they're eating up your resources, your time, your energy. Are they an energy vampire? Or are they making you work too hard and you don't have enough time to yourself? So there's the restrictive energy there. Yeah, because we get the sun and the moon in that image as well. So, okay. And then what do you need to let go of? This is one of the images that made me want this deck, this beautiful High Priestess. So what do you need to let go of? And it's almost like you need to let go. It's like, are you spiritually hiding in the closet, maybe? Or is there some knowledge that you need to express? This one took me on a spiritual thing where, what do you need to let go of? So I feel like sometimes there's time, whatever's restricting you is restricting the time for your spiritual growth and ascension. And so, let me think here. Maybe it's the self-limiting beliefs that you are not good enough to have a gift. And maybe you need to let go of that notion. I don't know if you do have a spiritual gift or not, Ange, but you're here with us, so I say you do. So maybe that's it. Letting go of that self-limiting belief, like you're not good enough. We all have these beautiful gifts within us. Someone said it's not a gift; it's an ability, and so it's still a gift to me. That ability is a gift. And what's the gift is us, how we utilize it and how we connect toward that source energy. So yeah, so I think it's and let me know if I'm wrong, the wrong direction, but that's what I'm getting out of this card is self-limiting beliefs on your spiritual ascension. And then what to Freema, how can you free yourself? Oh, look at this. Soul awakening. You are quite irresistible when your mind and heart pulse in the same rhythm. Why spend your days fighting yourself? You have better things to do. All that fiery energy in this. This is like the phoenix rising for you, only in the Fey realm. And yeah, so something's definitely suppressing this time for you to explore and awaken. So maybe you just need to work a little harder on carving out some of that time for you, even if it's 10 minutes in the evening before you go to bed or 10 minutes earlier in the morning. Just connect. So that's what I have for you.
Thank you, my lovely. Thank you, Ange, for allowing us again to read for you.
She has too much
And
time to
had
herself.
lots of lovely comments. I am good at join the club. That's what I
Yes,
say.
yes. It's my superpower.
Oh, so spot on. Thank you, James. I want to move forward, but feel stuck in a rut.
Sometimes when you do have too much time on your hands, you get stuck.
Yeah, absolutely. Passes, I've achieved nothing. Oh, bless you for that one there. Barbara says, thank you, Ginger Fae. I've often feel others' readings include something I can relate to, especially when it's a good reader. Oh, thank you for the lovely comments.
Oh, thank you.
I'm just going back, jumping up the chat because Beth asked me, do I ever...
Be sure to subscribe.
I think the B deck would be an interesting pairing with the witches. Well, you mean this one? You mean this one that I also have it? Yeah, it would be a wonderful pair.
Yeah.
I don't tend to do
It
two
would be.
Oh, I like it. I like it. There's certainly summer decks, and I think what would be useful and something I would probably do on a bigger reading, obviously not today, is to use one as what's the word? When you pull another card,
significant or a clarifier,
and clarifiers, and use that. That would be lovely. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think use that too many decks.
I see those two decks working well.
Yeah. And thank you so much for allowing us to read us. And if you would like us to do any more readings, just drop us an email or a message. I'm happy to do if you feel that you're stuck in a rut and we can help a little bit more. Just checking the time. We've done an hour and a quarter. I can't believe that. We have 2 more readings to do. And we have ENC. ENC, are you still here? Could you let us know? And also, Carl, we have a reading for. So if you could let us know you're here, we will then do a reading for you. But whilst we just wait to hear from ENC or from Carl, I will just have a little look at the chat. Kathy says these 8 of Swords readings have been so empowering, can almost collective shackles and restrictions falling away.
Oh, I love that.
Thank you. Well, we definitely have to do all this, won't we?
Yeah.
Oh.
ENC is here.
ENC is here, so let's pop ENC message up. Or may I have clarity on my psychic gifts? I feel stronger now, but it comes and goes. Any tips on strengthening? Thank you, and a happy Friday. ENC, it's our pleasure. Let us
switch decks.
I think I might switch decks. It's all that talk of the witch's garden, really. Beth made me do it. I might use two decks. Who knows? That kind of evening.
All right.
Please remember, of course, like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Both our channels, Ginger, I've got a link, chat and below. So please like, subscribe, and stay. That's nice. Keep subscribed. That's good.
Right.
Okay. But it's been lovely energies tonight.
Absolutely. Yes, and I have not used that deck in so long. And I'm sitting here going, why? As I'm pulling these cards. I love it. All right. Ooh.
Oh, okay. I'm going to jump in, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Clarity on psychic gifts. This is really interesting because I had to go back and check that I'd actually shuffled my deck and that I had put it in order, because I've got the 7 of Wands and the 8 of Wands. And when you look at these cards, they're both set at night. They're both about fire. They're both about literally carrying a torch and using it. And there's a message coming through that it's interesting. I think you know exactly your purpose. You now need to carry the torch for it. Think about the outcomes. Okay, we often measure life through outcomes, and therefore, if I'm going to be a tarot reader, this is what I need to do. I need to have A, B, C, and D. That's not true. You set yourself your own parameters and your own burdens in many ways. I'm going to use the word burdens that we set ourselves up there. So these two cards are just saying to me, focus on what is in your heart, put all your energy into it, but also be proud of it and carry it forward. Because we've also got fire, I'm just wondering if the spiritual gifts are something therefore to do with the fire element. So that could be looking at cleansing, looking at smoke reading. Perhaps it's reading something that's hot. I'm not actually sure there. But there is certainly a sense that you are certainly on the right path, that you know exactly what you need to do. Now you need to, a bit like a flame, you need to tend it. You need to make sure it doesn't go out and keep it strong. And therefore, that's going to ignite other things that's going on. I've also pulled the Eight of Pentacles for you here, which is, again, a card that came up earlier in the evening here at ENC. And that is about making sure that now you know what you're doing, a bit like I said earlier, you're now doing everything you can to master the little bits and pieces that are going on. This isn't about trying to learn a whole new range of tasks or a whole new range of different things to do. It's about mastering and making sure that you feel confident in perhaps just one small thing, because one small thing will lead to another, will lead to another, will lead to another. And actually, I can say that as part of my story since starting this channel is that I started just coming in to do tarot, and then this wonderful community allows you to open up, and before you know it, I'm doing shamanism, I'm doing druidry, I'm creating my own deck. So again, it's that making sure that you're happy where you are, and then feel free to carry that torch into other areas, because that's the way to succeed.
Absolutely. And Beth is leaving us. Bye, Beth.
Bye, Beth.
All right, E and C. Okay. So you feel stronger now, but it comes and goes. Okay. I can relate to the coming and going. It's like when I try too hard is when it's not coming. It comes when I'm more relaxed or doing something that my mind is relaxed, and that's when it comes in. I'm going to say this card, it is the Judgment card, but this card is about ascension and leaving what's not serving your energy behind. So make sure that you're always almost every day I ask and intend that my vibrational energy be raised, and I say be raised high and happy. And so that's part of keeping that gift strong. The more positive your vibrational energy is, the more you ascend and reach that connection with your guiding team. I've got this beautiful, one of my favorite Two of Wands. For me, this, you have a new portal opening for you. So you have to relax and flow into it and not force anything, because we've got like summer and spring energy here. So it's all about that spiritual growth, but enjoying the process of it. So you have a lot of that fiery, again, with Richie's fiery wands over there. You got more fiery wands. And let me read a little bit about the dragon energy in this. So I made my own little animal book here. So, okay, so dragons control intellect and reason and illumination, and they harness they harness all four elements. And so there's two elements here that I'm gonna make note to, because Richie called upon the the fire energy, and then I also got water energy mixed in here. So keep them separated. You don't want to put out the fire. It says you are being called to step into your highest magical potential. So dragons represent that magical life force. So you're on that path, and it does come and go. It depends on what life is throwing at us. You know, when we're stressed, it's not going to be there as much. When we're more relaxed, and it just flows when you're least expecting it. So I got here River of Blessings, releasing constraints. So again, I said earlier about with someone about releasing these self-limiting beliefs. You know, you're already putting the comes and goes. Well, just keep welcoming it. You know, I welcome the communication between my guides and myself. I always ask for a clear channel to my guides, and try to keep your thoughts and your vibrational energies positive. But here she's holding a vessel of water, so I can wonder about scrying. If you know anything about scrying or doing some water magics, we have this beautiful jaguar energy that I'm sorry if you don't mind. I love this book. Um, Jaguars represent mystery, power, confidence, and grace. It says you are an old soul. Walk through life with confidence and grace. So the more and more you feel confident about your gifts, the more they flow. And I can say that once I owned, you know, I still feel like I'm in the beginning stages of mediumship, but I like last year sometime I actually owned it. I'm like, I can't say I'm at the beginning. I should stop saying that. I'm at the beginning because it's only going to keep me at the beginning. I am. Now I am growing into it. And just be patient process, because your guides, the universe, are only going to give you as much as you can handle right now. And even though you yourself think you can handle more, the outside 3D world gets in the way, and uh, sometimes it's just too much energy. And then I got calming waters, peaceful self-regulation. So the more, again, the more you put yourself at peace and calm, is the easier and clearer that channel becomes between you and your guides. So definitely, I see powerful energy here for you. And trust in the process. Keep communicating with your guides every day, and make sure you're thanking your guides as well for them. You know, when I'm done with these readings, I thank the guides for assisting me, because I can't do it without them. And yeah, so I hope that works for you.
That's wonderful. Interesting. I just had a thought because you were talking about water spraying. I'm just wondering if PNC has tried, is it spirit writing, when you just let your hand write down what, because there seems to be like a lot of charcoal, a lot
automatic
of fire.
writing, yeah,
Automatic writing.
and hydrating. Stay hydrated.
But the interesting is, you can have that fire, you can have that water. We often think of them as cancelling each other out, but actually, and this is a Geraldism, so I'm not taking any credit for it, but fire and water make steam, and steam is what drives us and what cleanses us.
Oh, yeah, very cleansing.
So it's a lovely combination to have. That just, it's difficult to juggle and keep it safe, but there we go.
I love that, because water is cleansing, fire is cleansing, and then they create steam, which is cleansing. I love that. It's so good for your skin.
Do that. Perhaps next time we'll have mud packs on. We'll do
there we go. Oh, we need to have a jammy party with mud pack faces. There we go.
We were supposed to do a reading for Carl, but I don't know if Carl's here. So, Carl, if you are here, if you could let us know, we'll do a reading for you. If not, we'll give Carl a couple of a little while just to answer if he's here. Oh, Carl
Oh,
is here. Hello,
yay.
Carl. Thank you for waiting.
Oh,
And
and
Nancy's
Nancy's
here.
here.
Hi, Nancy.
She just
So
had a live with Sun Psychic Jean, and I was so sad I had to miss that. But I hope you had fun, Nancy.
lovely to see you here, Nancy. Okay, so Carl has put in a question. Is
Oh,
my
okay.
client attorney sincere when he says his word is his honor? Meaning, will he reach out and pay my team the balance we're owed for? I can't get past his gatekeeper and I don't have direct access to it.
Oh dear.
Hey, I'll try and do my best. Well, we'll try
That's
and do our
kind of
best.
a financial. Okay.
Financial truth. Yeah, we know what cards we're looking
Mm,
for here. And I'm just going to do something slightly different. I'm going to pull a card I'll do a slightly different reading. I'm just going to pull a card for a few of the people in this reading, including you. Whilst we're doing this, Ginger, as it's our last reading, what do
yeah.
you got coming up this week?
Oh, very
Live.
interesting. So
You've got some exciting stuff going on, haven't you?
tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern US. Very interesting. So, for those of you who don't know, I have a series I call Paranormal Investigation. And it's doing paranormal investigation via use of the tarot. And this will be around my 20th one. And it's always amazing how the cards speak for the not living or for the land or situation. And it's Ramon from Moon Scarab is my co-host on this one. He picked it. It's about the Mothman, and that was something that happened in the 60s that some kids felt that they were attacked by a humanoid creature. But then more people saw it, and then there was a collapse of a bridge that happened afterward, and they think it has something to do with them. Supposedly, men in black were involved. And so we're just going to explore it. And is it myth? Is it mystery? Folklore? Truth? And they even made a movie of it. So the things that make you go, So that's really exciting. That's Saturday. And then Sunday, I have readings with Sun Psychic Jean, 11:30 US. So that's what I have coming up. You?
I haven't checked my diary. I know I've got something coming up with Gerald quite soon, but I'm in the state of I've got a few more weeks at work and then I'm on holiday for 6 weeks. And although I do lives during the 6 weeks I'm off, they tend to be at different times because when you've got 6 weeks beautiful holiday, what I don't want to be, right, we'll go away, but I have to be back on a Friday to do a live. So I'm keeping it a bit loose. We're going off into camping, going off visiting other people. We might be going abroad. So there's lots of different things that is going on. But I know that Gerald and I are doing a series about the 5 senses and the tarot, and we've got that coming up.
Oh, love it.
Another long stash, the Lunasa, the Lamas one coming up. So there's bits and pieces coming up. But of course, Ginger, we need to do another one of these in about a month's time or 6 weeks, don't we?
Yeah. Well, I go back to work, and there's where the time difference it hinders us because I go back at work the last week of July, and then I don't get home until 4:30 my time, which is 9:30 your time. So I'd love to squeeze one in July somewhere before I go.
We can do this. We can do this. We won't let work get in the way of our
right. Or we can do it a weekend, but I know we all like to make other plans.
We won't let a little thing like that stop us, will we?
Oh, I would love this. Love reading with you. Love reading.
I love reading with you. There's always beautiful energy, and the people in the chat, as ever, are fabulous and lovely. But I know that they're super appreciative of this one.
Yeah.
All Flowing says, I can't wait. We had a Mothman sighting where they used to live.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, where was that? Was that in Point Pleasant? This is Point Pleasant, West Virginia. So is where this all started, but Carl fell asleep.
Carl fell asleep, but he's awake now, so that's good. And Carl says, we did the job and it feels he's hiding.
Like he's hiding. Oh, okay.
Are you ready? Do you want to go if you're ready?
I've been chatting too much. I don't have cards out.
We never chat. Love it.
All right. So these questions are hard. These kind of questions,
I'll put them back up.
So we want to know if he's honorable and will he pay? Okay. Yeah, you can go ahead, Richie, if you're ready.
Okay. Well, I've got lovely cards. I've got the sun. So it feels very positive, the reading. So I would, it's always good to follow your doubts and follow your intuition, but sometimes you just have to see the sun and for what it is. So there is the sun, which suggests that everything is going to turn out okay, or at least everything's going to turn out to the right solution. And of course, that doesn't always necessarily mean it comes out in the favor of what we're always looking for. But hindsight, when you look back, you go, oh, I can see why that's the case. But having the sun in this reading would suggest that everything is legitimate and is what it seems on there. It seems that we've got a lot of we've also got a temperance card. Let's go about temperance card here, and this one is very much moving this honey from one vessel to another there. Now, as you know, honey is a gorgeous, wonderful thing that natural, beautiful liquid that we can use for sweet. We can use it all of it. It can also be a little bit sticky, and you know that if you sometimes get honey on your hands, you kind of got it on your hands for the whole day. It's quite difficult to wash off and will stick to surfaces as well. So perhaps, although the temperance card suggests that the flow is going in the right direction, this gloopiness that perhaps is this honey means that it might not be flowing quite at the speed that you want to, or perhaps even going in the direction that you were intending it to. It might get a little bit sticky, literally, the situation. However, the honey is flowing from one direction to the other in the correct places. It's just perhaps not behaving the way that you would expect it to. We also have two queens to add into the situation here, and I pulled this one to represent you, Carl. You have the Queen of Wands in here. And beautiful energy. She is on her throne there with the hives, with the honey, and she also has, I don't know if you can see just here, she has a little flame in her hand where she is igniting. And I think it is absolutely right that you are igniting any doubts that may come into it, and that is something to discuss there as well, because you've also got the Queen of Jars or the Queen of Cups. This would be perhaps involving either other people in the situation. I didn't specify who this would be, but there seems to be some emotions that are wrapped up in there that perhaps you weren't expecting. And I don't know if there's people in here who are more than just friends or work colleagues, but perhaps you have people that have actually got some more emotion involved in it than you were expecting, and this could be one of the reasons why everything again is a little bit gloopy and it isn't working together quite as well as it feels like it should be. It all feels great, it just feels a little bit sloppy. It feels like it's not quite going with the way that it should do. But you've got the Queen of Wands energy, so that is telling me that when it comes to dealing with the situation, the Queen of Wands is a supportive, wonderful person, but doesn't hide in anyone's shadow. She is also out there campaigning, supporting. She knows what she needs to do, and she knows what traits and what ways to play things to the best of the situation. And that is quite often the person itself. So I'm thinking here, with the sunshine, with the sun card on there, with that igniting of the hand, the flame that we talked about,
It's a beautiful
To
card.
your talents. If you know everything's going to be okay, just make sure that you are doing everything that is right to you, making sure that everyone else is okay and not getting too involved in the emotions of it all. And literally, and I pulled this card here, play
Oh,
to your strengths.
wow.
So there we go.
Carl said he was his dad in a past life.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
Really interesting.
Okay. Okay, Carl. So I had asked, is he an honorable man? Now, most of us would see this Five of Wands as the challenge or the well. Anyway, Robert Place took it as the burning hand, meaning the fingers are turning into torches, which is talking about creativity. So you may have to be creative, or well, this is talking about him now. So is he an honorable man? He's very creative man. So this kind of doesn't answer that question, because creative people have, crafty ways of skirting issues. But so let me just keep going here. So, because this is a little interesting. So it could be that this person might not have the money like he thought he did to pay you. And sometimes people, instead of thinking about, oh, let me make smaller payments, will just ignore the situation altogether because they're stuck in analysis paralysis. He's a lawyer. Yeah. So very crafty. So it could be that you might need to approach the saying, hey, if you don't have it all right now, do an honorable payment. Give me so much up front, and then we'll work on the rest. So let's see. Reach out and paying the balance due. You got the moon cards. That remains a mystery. So let me figure out how this would play into it. So there's with the moon card comes shadows and lights. So and then I want to pull this one too to talk about them together. The king, is it? Yeah, the Knight of Vessels. Okay. So as Richie said, you touched on something as an emotional attachment. There's something emotional, whether are you really good friends? And that's gonna, play into, oh, he'll let me slide a little bit. But you yourself need to be crafty and persistent about it. And I would say not so persistent that you don't want to make him angry, but just say, hey, how about a payment of faith that, I know you're going to pay it. You might be having struggles right now, but I really need to pay these bills. And then the moon card is also about using your instinct and your intuitions. And definitely kind of feel out the situation. And as Richie was saying, put it in your mind how you want it to end. Put in the end result in your head, how happy you are, you're shaking hands, that he's made his payments, and, make specific images in your head about your end result, what you expect. And don't worry about the in-betweens, because that might alter that energy. Then I got the Hierophant, interesting enough. So we're following traditions here. So he's got this book. There's traditions to be had. So I don't think he's going to not pay, because that would affect him and his traditions and honors and being honorable, because you could so easily mar his name, so to speak, let people know, he's not honorable. So I don't feel that he's not honorable. I feel that he might be struggling with something right now, but if I took this, he will honor his word. But as Richie said, it might not happen as quickly or the way you want it to do traditionally. But keep reaching out and just say, hey, at least a payment of faith. So,
Yeah.
oh, I
Oh,
don't know.
well,
Oh,
good
yeah.
luck with that, Carl. Thank you
Well,
for
can you go
allowing.
down to the office personally
Yeah.
instead of going through that middleman? Go see him. Um,
Thank you for allowing us to read for you there.
mm.
Let's get rid of those comments.
So if
Thank
you're
you, everyone.
supposed to do more jobs with him, then definitely he's going to be honoring his word. It's just some people aren't so quick to put out money.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for everyone in chat allowing us to read for you. It's always, I think, an absolute pleasure and an honor to do that and allow us to do this. And it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. But Ginger, thank you so much
Thank you, Richie.
for joining me again. And yeah,
Love
let's
it.
do it again because people
Absolutely.
obviously enjoy it. And as people said, we've got absolutely wonderful energy there.
Yeah. Yeah. Loving
So
that. So.
get the money up front. Hello to anyone that's joined us in the last few minutes. And
Yeah,
of
isn't
course,
there a retainer fee you're supposed to get?
that's true. That's true.
Oh, but
Right,
yes.
everyone.
So,
Anne says thank you. Have a lovely weekend. And I couldn't
oh,
say it
yes.
better than that myself.
Yes.
So we'll leave us with Angie's thought. I'm going to say
Uh-huh.
goodbye to everyone. Thank you once again and see you
Oh,
really, really soon. So
I
bye.
love you, everybody. Bye.